Welcome back to Runaway with Taborland. On this video, it's going to be a little different. It's not particularly about the Runaway, it's why I chose the Runaway over 5 other tiny campers. After months of research without doing anything, just looking and looking and looking, I narrowed it down to 6 campers, 6 tiny campers. And I did have a certain criteria for these campers, of course, like anybody does.
Sometimes I wonder how you got so picky.
And my reasons might not be the same as your reasons, so I am not knocking these other tiny campers because they were in the running because I really liked them. I just found the Runaway was a better fit for my needs. You have different needs and different wants, and or more needs or less wants, or
strike that, reverse it.
So the criteria for me was, 1, it had to fit 3 people. I'm a big guy, so it needed to be roomy. So it needed to fit at least 3 people for a tiny camper. 2, it had to be low maintenance. I don't want a lot of maintenance. I am not a handy person whatsoever, so the lower the maintenance, the better. The third thing I was looking for, potentially putting it in the garage. Now, I had a space picked out in my backyard and I was gonna tarp it, but eventually my wife said, why don't we put it in the garage, it'll be better. So then I started looking for stuff that'll fit in the garage. And 4, quality of the build. I wanted something that was built solid, and that takes me back to option number 2, maintenance. Low maintenance and a quality build is what I was looking for. I also wanted air conditioning. So I needed air conditioning in it. I tent camped for a long time, but we only tent camped in the winter when it was cold at night, and we all slept better. We just had little heaters and electric blankets to keep us nice and cozy and warm. You know the feeling. So it had to have an AC in it for the year-round camping. Well, I say that now, and now I'm like, ooh, it's too hot out there. It's still a little too hot, a little too moist in the morning for camping. So, and lastly, price. I didn't want to spend tons of money on a camper. Just looking at finances, we're just using it for weekend trips. We're just going to state parks. We're not doing any, major camping adventures in it. It's just weekends or long weekends. So cost was a big factor, okay? I wanted to keep it under $18,000 if I could. So after all that, when I narrowed it down to the 6 tiny campers that were in the running, that's what I mainly focused my research on.
And away we go!
So let's get to it. First on my list was the Bean Camper. I thought the Bean Camper was a fantastic little camper. Salt Lake City, Utah is where they're built. I'm not sure they're at dealers. I didn't find any at dealers. I found some used on RV Trader, but the Bean Camper. And what I loved about the Bean Camper is the quality that everybody talks about on this Bean Camper and the look of the Bean Camper. The Bean also had a cool feature. Most of them, including the Bean stock, I believe, it's right here on the screen, it has a bunk. So they consider it a dog bed or a kid's bed, but it just clicks in and the 2 people sleep underneath. As you can see right here, it's made of fiberglass, and it tells you it has a 1-piece cap that goes over the whole thing. But what it boiled down to on the Bean was, as you can see, the prices. If you look at the prices, it's you're paying a lot of money, like $52,000 for a fully loaded. Which one is this? The Black Bean. You're paying a ton, but you're paying for all the amenities and all the quality of this camper.
Pro, you get to share your pros and cons list with the other nerds.
Now for my pros and cons on the Bean. So the biggest pro with the Bean was that 1-piece fiberglass top. The look of the Bean and the quality they put into the Bean, and they do offer a warranty. And the biggest cons, of course, it's got to be the price. It starts at $18,000, right at the top of my budget, and can go all the way to $50,000 or more. And It does have that bunk, but it's a little bit too small for my needs. And locations on where to get a bean are mainly from what I saw there. But if you see that they are closer, please let me know in the comments. Number 5 on my list was actually the New Camp. New Camp are made in Sugar Creek, Ohio, but that doesn't matter. New Camp has dealerships all over the United States, so that wasn't an issue. You can find a New Camp teardrop camper just about anywhere. So looking at the tag, it's a fairly nice camper. It is a little smaller, but they do make a tag XL. But you know, with this, it's kind of like the Bean. It's all inclusive. They put everything in there for you. It has great reviews on the style of build. I think it only comes with minimal stuff in the roof that I would have to provide maintenance on over time, you know, resealing and all that. Tag pros and cons. So it'll fit my garage. There's tons of dealers near me, and they have great Facebook groups. Now, the cons, on the other hand, it's kind of tight for 3 people, as you can see in the inside, and it's priced $12,000 and up. And people say that the tongue and jack and electronic issues with it are pretty big. But that's going off the groups that talk about it the most.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Next on my list was Intech RV. If you're not familiar with Intech, this was actually the camper brand I was going to buy initially. As you can see, it's fairly big. When you look at a Luna Rover, which I would want a Rover just for the look of it. I like the look of things, so I know I'd be paying extra. And when you see the inside of these little tiny teardrops, you'll be amazed what they put in it. And their kitchen in the back is top notch. You got your stove, a huge sink, and a place to put your cooler. I mean, how could you not want this tiny camper? You know, look at this picture of these people sitting inside. They're just chilling inside. So the problem with this one is, as you can see, 3 people would not be comfortable in this camper. 2, yes. I guess I could take where they're sitting and build up a box and then put a mattress just like across to make a bed if I wanted to, but it's just a lot of extra work for an already expensive camper. But the thing I really liked about it was the construction. So if you look, it's all aluminum cage tubing that they put together. But I really love the look of the Luna and all Intech products, and you can't beat this huge window right in front of the camper.
What exactly do you like about it?
The pros on the Luna Rover from Intech, that large front window, you cannot beat it. Most of the upgrades inside are included when you buy it, and there's plenty of local dealers to deal with. But on the cons, it's just too long for my garage. The frame and the axle issues that were reported on the Facebook groups, it's pretty big, and of course it's over $21,000. Now another popular camper out there, which almost is exactly like the Runaway, really close. It was a tie. Like, I was going back between the Hiker trailer and the Runaway for a while, and then I found another camper closer to where I live than the Hiker. So that'll be number. Well, I don't know what number we're on now, but that'll be next. But let me talk about the Hiker, because the Hiker is actually a great little camper and people love it. There's a huge following on YouTube with hiker communities on there. You can anything you want to learn about hiker trailer is on YouTube as well, just like Runaway. They have a lot more models, and basically they fit all my needs. The only thing I didn't like about the hiker trailers, if you can see here, you know, they have 5x8s, 5x9s, and 5x10s. Looking back, I looked at the Hiker as it could fit all my needs, just depending where you were. And as you can see here, the prices are good. About the same on par with the Runaway campers. So with the hiker, I think my only issue was the air conditioning and the stuff that goes on the top of the camper, which a lot of you out there, I know it is ridiculous, this mental block I have on drilling into the camper. But they do have an alternate air conditioner for people like me who are scared to put anything in the roof. Let's see if I can pull that up, the ACs. All right, here we go. So when you go down here, these are all the add-ons, like a la carte. And when you go to heating and air AC, see they have the roof rack, the air vent. So if you look here, they do have a roof vent, a max air fan, which goes in the roof, and a rooftop AC. So, but they also have the front vents. Let's see what happens when I click on that. So they have these vents that go in the front of the camper, and you take a portable AC unit, hook it up, and you hook tubes to these little vents. And I thought maybe that can work. And then I started doing research on the YouTube videos of that little AC unit, and it didn't look appealing to me. Now it might work great, but just videos I've seen, it didn't look appealing to me. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I don't want to offend anybody. This is just all my opinion, and I'm probably wrong on half of it. Let's be honest. But the hiker trailers, please go to their website, check them out. Really cool little campers. With hiker, you can start basic and get up to your price point. So you can go very minimal and just get a box on wheels and design it the way you are. The hiker is basically like the Runaway. You can design the interior. You're going to make your bed how you want it. So it's a great option, and does offer a lot of more room lengthwise, just not widthwise.
That's nice. Oh, that's nice.
There's a lot of pros. 6,000 and up, low maintenance, and that front box for your fridge, where you can just slide it out and use your fridge. That is awesome. Now, I couldn't really think of any cons for this awesome little hiker besides the distance, so the locations of where they're at, and I just don't like where the AC location's on it. You can either have one in the roof or those vents, and I'm not a fan of those vents at all. So when I was looking for campers closer to home, there's two campers, as you know, that stuck out the most. Runaway was being one, and the second one was called Tiny Camper Company, located in Groveland, Florida. So as you see, Groveland is not far from me. It's a little further than Runaway, which is located up here in Ocala. Groveland is more closer to, I would say Disney World, because here's Orlando. Yeah, here's the park. Here's Disneyland Fort Wilderness. So it's not far from me. So location was perfect. So as you can see, they look the same. The same thing with the vents that hiker had. So I was kind of weary of that. But a composite outside, nothing's on the roofs, either drilled on the side. So it was a great option for me and my family. It does have a small following on Facebook, but not as wide as the Runaways and not as wide as all the other ones I mentioned in this video. They're more of a smaller company like Runaway, which just focuses on making tiny campers. So let's go to the ones they have just in stock. As you can see, the prices, they do have a 6x8 like Runaway that starts at $9,000. For this one already built, of course they get even lower. A 4x8, it's only $6,000. So the price point, are really good. Their AC unit is on the inside, or you can choose that other method. The doors were tinier. Let's see if I can find one that has windows. The windows are really tiny. As you know, in your Runaway, they have nice large windows in them. This one you can choose to have a back door or not. I switched over to Runaway and Tiny Camper Company solely on location, and they fed our needs. I went with Runaway because Tiny Camper Company, I didn't like getting in and out. I didn't like the tinier doors and the tinier windows.
So close.
The Tiny Camper Pros, again, cheap, under $5K and up. You can put as much as you want on it and still stay under budget. They're composite design, and the best part, they are located in Florida. And the only con is the doors and windows are way too small. And as you know, finally I settled on the Runaway Camper. And I feel like I've made still the best decision on a camper for my family. So that concludes this version of why I chose a Runaway.
It's not all about you.
Over some of the best brands out there. Check out those websites, see which one fits your needs better. But me and my family, Runaway was number one. So that concludes this video for this week. I'd like to thank you for tuning in. As always, please like and subscribe, and have a great weekend.